All
All
right.
right. Yes, we're on live. This is Transparency and Merit, and I'm Joe, and we got Brian. What's going on there? It's Transparency and Merit.
Not much. I'm just here. I'm ready to maybe spread the show around a little bit. And just before we start, I'm bloviating right now just to spread the love around. Hopefully there is love to be spread, and then maybe there won't be. Who knows? Who knows?
That's right. That's right. And just a
You know what
reminder
we're
to
out there.
subscribe to our show. And while we get people in here, and everybody should be having a piece of the action here with Transparency and Merit. Don't let our views and opinions make you believe anything. Do your own research, take the information we have, and give us a counterpoint if you have one. It's good to agree with people, but it's also good and healthy to disagree. So we accept and challenge everybody out there to use your adult mind, and feel free to contact us and be part of what we call transparency and merit, where we measure. Why am I hearing myself again? Damn it! Yeah. While we measure uh, information based on the transparency, the information available to us, what we're allowed to see, and we also measure it based on merit. Does the information, does your who and what you vetted have merit? So, with that said, Tucker Carlson and the establishment.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson and the establishment. I'm going to check in. And by the way, I might just check in to see if there is going to be another maybe guest. I might see him later at night. I mean, he might be up this late night, and maybe if he wants to join in. But yeah, this is Tucker Carlson. A few advertisers have taken themselves off of Tucker Carl. I mean, have taken themselves off. So like Disney, and I think a few others may have taken themselves off of Tucker Carlson, and what he said wasn't that controversial, and it certainly wouldn't have been that controversial a couple of years ago. But now it seems like everything that is said seems to be controversial.
How so? I haven't heard anything.
Well, he talked about Black Lives Matter. And just yeah, people are calling him a Nazi and this and that, and it's just not good. But what can you do? Just the fact of the matter is, Black Lives Matter and other leftist civil rights groups seem to have the backing of the establishment, and the establishment has unquestioned authority. I mean, BLM and many of the other civil rights groups seem to have unquestioned authority in this country, and it's not, like I said, it's upset me. But if you're an honest person and look at history, there have been groups in the past that have had kind of unquestioned authority in this country, and moral authority, who thought they had the moral right to do what they've done. And most evil, by the way, is done when somebody or a group thinks that they have the moral right to do so. And, the old saying, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, that is kind of a thing, and it's been a anyway. Well, the surprise guest isn't going to be there, but that's fine. Yeah, so he's chilling in bed. But yeah, I mean, the unquestioned authority that groups have had kind of got lost track there. But the unquestioned authority that groups have had have been there since time immemorial. And I've been, on my Facebook page of I guess, what is it, the Stoic Brotherhood page, and kind of said, look, what you have to realize about life is that it is absurd. It's not rational. Or at least I don't think that human beings are rational, and that includes myself. We do things to basically survive, and we will gaslight, and we will act the fool or whatnot. And, this is kind of the way it is. And, I've had a few gaslighters in my life, although I've never seen such gaslighting, particularly online. I've seen more gaslighting from the media than I've ever seen in my life. Just the deception that the mainstream media is out there feeding the public about these protests and these riots. They're just not presenting like there's just two sets of facts, and the truth is these people don't want to debate, and they don't want to be questioned. They only want to censor. And that's, to me, a rather scary thing. Because, even the Nazis had a Nuremberg trial. This cancel culture goes without, like the accused has no trial. It's just you're punished, and that's it. It's the most undemocratic thing I've ever seen in my life. Where these companies just pull out. I mean, are there any public shareholders meetings for these companies that pull out? Are these companies that decide to cave in? Is there any public meetings for this? And I wonder how much they're being threatened by the mob as well.
Right. Somehow the arguments with the boards of directors and companies seem to falsely only focus on aspects that affect the bottom line. Well, we contend that this does impact the bottom line. Maybe just not. There just may not be a precise dollar amount attached to it. Doesn't mean it's not being affected.
I mean, you're disrespecting probably close to 50% of your followers by caving into the leftist mob, and probably this leftist mob is probably less than 10% of the population, but they're very vocal. I mean, there are people out onto the street, but are they a loud minority, or are they are they a majority? Are they just a loud minority? You can get like even a million people in this country to gather and to protest may not necessarily be the majority of this nation. And this nation was not made by victims. People didn't go out and work and build up a country filled with victims. I just don't agree with that assessment. And the grievance industry has really taken hold. And I'm hearing different reports that college campuses are certain departments on college campuses are recruiting grounds for these leftist so-called civil rights organizations. Many of them promote political violence to get their gains, and they will justify that violence as a form of acting out of oppression. And I'm seeing in cases where, two cases in particular, one case in Portland and the other case in New York, where in one case it was one person who's tried who seemed to have acted somewhat in self-defense. And then the other case, I think it was in Manhattan, where there was a scuffle between the Proud Boys and Antifa, and the two Proud Boys were prosecuted for defending themselves. Now, they may have gone too far, but it was Antifa that initiated the contact, and the groups that were assaulted did not cooperate with the police, and it was kind of a kangaroo court. I've never seen anything like that, where that had happened before. And then there's a case in Portland where I think she's an Antifa woman, but she was charging at a man in a crowd, and I believe she got hit with a collapsible baton. And we did a whole thing on that show, and the guy has been both Proud Boy. I mean, this one I think is from Patriot Prayer, and the other one is from the Proud Boys. But both groups have been banned by their GoFundMe accounts and their the kind of public access for funds for their legal funds. They've been banned, I believe, from Patreon and some other, I think perhaps even some other crowdfunding sites, which seems to be kind of unethical and not giving people equal protection under the law, because they're conservatives. And the rioters, many of Antifa is protected, I've heard is protected by the Lawyers Guild. So they have protection to physically assault and damage property. And when they're arrested, they're given free and really decent legal counsel, whereas the groups that are defending themselves against these groups are it's kind of just kind of a kangaroo courts. And they're given, they're thrown off of these sites. So the establishment seems to not only be behind the protesters, but also seems to be backing a lot of the rioters and the violent leftists. Not, because these groups all have violent and vindictive elements in them. And mainstream business and a lot of mainstream politicians are in favor of these groups, and they all claim, like, I see these people on my Twitter page that I kind of debate with, and they all kind of say, this is, these people are fighting fascism. and they'll put up posters of the Normandy landing, of men on those boats when they landed into Normandy. These were original Antifa fighters, which is just a load of crap, because a lot of the people who landed on Normandy or fought in World War II were called back to fight in Korea, and they also fought communism, and they hated communism. And Antifa hates America. They chant. Their chanting slogan is "No Trump, no wall, no USA at all." And these people have nerve, and even Chris Cuomo put the same thing up of the D-Day invasion and the American troops going into battle. It's a total gaslight, because these groups hate America, and whether you love America or hate America, you should be honest about it. Just because they fight what they believe is fascism, and some of them who they fought have been neo-Nazis and Klansmen, that doesn't mean Antifa fights anybody that they disagree with. And I've only been threatened like once by them, but I think a couple of people are threatening me on Twitter. And one guy asked me about like my family, and I told him like most of my family has been passed away. Someone just said, you seem like either a traitor or a Russia support Nazi.
Where did they say that?
Oh, this was from Paul Revere, and he has a picture of picture of Donald Trump on the toilet tweeting. And then there's a whole thing of Black Lives Matter in Seattle. And I don't know if I tweeted this to you, Joe, but this was rather interesting. Let me see. Let me tweet this to you again. If you can go to your Twitter, and let me just. And I'm just going to put Chaz Queen here. Oops. And I wanted to say that she says something interesting, because the truth is, it's not how you feel or what you think. It's how. I mean, does it matter how you? Does it only matter how it impacts you, or does it matter how it impacts me, or it impacts others? And this right here, yeah, that right there. Her name is Nina. Yeah, that's her. And I'm not hearing any sound, Joey.
You need a man. My daddy never taught me how to be a man. So can you make me feel like one? This space needs to be safe for me. This is not a poem. That poem was called Hey Girl Hey, and it's about catcall culture, because intersectionality is a Black issue. Feminism is a Black issue. We need to make sure that the people at the so-called bottom of this so-called case system are safe. Our femme folks need to be safe. Our trans folks need to be safe. Our differently able people need to be safe. I was stopped 3 times from that stoplight to here by men I did not know. this evening who refused to listen when I said I had somewhere to be. That shit can't happen if this is gonna work.
Uh-oh. Pretty vague.
So hold yourself accountable and hold each other accountable and keep each other safe.
Be safe. Be safe against the monsters.
I am going to also, real quick, I do not give a plug nickel what your intentions are, if you mean to scare me, if I took it the wrong way. Your intentions and your impact are two different things, and I only care about the latter. All right. Moving.
Now she said your impact and your intentions are two different things. Does that go for everybody or just for people like her?
Is she lying?
She's probably telling the truth. There are probably a lot of cat calls out there and people who wanted sexual favors, and in a conservative world, it's people are far more polite than they are in a leftist, hellhole. So that may be true. I don't know if she's lying or telling the truth. I know that she doesn't seem like the most diplomatic person around. I don't really care, like they have a class action suit to get you off Twitter. Well, let them try. They may succeed with the way things are going.
Why don't you read this flyer?
White men, you are the enemy. White men, women, and children, you are the enemy. We will not stop until there are more white homicides than black. We will not stop until all white people are sent to
We will not stop until white people pay extra taxes to support black individuals. We will not stop until black power runs all government. We will not allow any white person to date another race. We support no white-owned business. Hate is okay if directed at white families. This is a unofficial Black Lives Matter flyer.
Now, I'm curious about that flyer. What are they saying? Okay, let me take a look here. Let me see here.
Remember, your source is Twitter. So.
And also BLM. Wait, let's take a look at BLM flyer. Oops. Is there anyone, because BLM flyer. And let's see. And, of course, they have San Antonio Roll in Peace. So they have the right, by the way, to stage protests. Of course, conservatives cannot do the same. Okay, so this flag once has faked a BML fire. Okay. And yeah, this is a fake. By the way, I think this might be a very fake flag. I don't think so.
No! Look at the cop! 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 Look at the cop!
Wow, where was this?
Fuck you! Fuck all y'all! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Get off him! 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 Tell him to get his knee off him! Get your 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 knee off him! Get some time to get his knee off him! Yo, fuck you, man! You a bitch! Fuck 12! Fuck yo! Fuck 12! Miami PD, y'all city! Y'all some bitches! Y'all some bitches! Y'all some bitches! Look at them! What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
How are you going to demand respect from someone while cussing in their face and inciting violence? People say cops don't have any self-control. I beg to differ. Wow. I guess I was in Miami.
Yeah. Have you been to Miami, Joey?
I have a few times.
Oh, I was gonna, you know what? I was gonna look. If you go scroll down a little bit, I gave you the one of Susan Wojcicki. I mean, for up more. You scroll before that. That right there. Yeah.
All right.
This is one. Yeah, if you want to click on that. We updated, yeah. This is their new policy. Mid-year update supporting the Black community. Hold on. We have always been proud. Okay, right here. Okay, supporting the Black community. We've always been proud that we are a platform that celebrates a broad and diverse set of voices. Really? No, you don't. And we have implemented many policies and product features to protect our communities. But we recognize we need to do more, in particular with the Black community. And that is the reason, that is why we are committing to following actions. Amplify Black voices. We are committing to doing better as a platform to center and amplify Black voices. Today, we're announcing a multi-year $100 million fund dedicated to amplifying and developing the voices of Black creators, artists, and their story. See, this is what the thing of it is. They are affecting policy is what they're doing, and they're acting, by the way, as a publisher, not as an open platform. That's clear. Can you scroll up, by the way? And can you take off August Kundis? Can you take off August Kundis? Can you? They have a class action suit on you on Twitter. Can you take that off so I can read the rest of it further down? Can you take that thing off there? Okay. Oh, now it says transparency and merit. Okay. Harassment. We've taken many steps over the years to protect diverse communities from the harassment across the platform, including Black creators, artists, updated policies as a result. Okay, and they've also they've greatly updated their hate speech rules, and that is not really cool, in my opinion. Hate speech does not exist, and we are not Europe, by the way, and there should be a question about what's going on in like Europe and the kind of social justice that has happened there and the lawlessness that has been brought about or seemingly brought about. The thing is, if all these things are untrue about like what's going on in Europe with the rapes and the robberies, they should say that. And we're looking right now at Seattle.
Yes.
Which
This
seems
is live from Chaz.
Yeah, live from Chaz. And which, like I said, it looks peaceful now. But I don't think is, I've heard that there have been a few rapes there. And we will know later how bad it's gotten.
Some interviews with these people.
Well, I don't think they're interviewing. I think they're just, I think that's an overhead camera view.
It's a live cam.
It's a live cam. And they've taken over 6 square blocks. I remember the Bundy Ranch. They took over desert land and they did it with guns.
Looks like a movie set.
Yeah, it does. It looks almost like the Wizard of Oz. Now, have you been to that? Because Portland and Seattle are kind of close. Have you been there before, Joe?
Yes, I have.
Have you been to those 6 square blocks?
I have. I've walked through them.
And what was it like?
Well, this is at a different time, so I don't remember it being too different from. There was homelessness and all that, just like any other city, big city. Yeah, that's it's a different world there right now.
Now, Darren the idiot just said good night.
Good night. Yes. Early, 10:15.
So
they do interviews. Yeah, there are interviews.
If you go to Chaz interviews on Twitter, I think you'll find a few there. Or Chaz interviews on YouTube, you'll find a few.
Yeah.
Although it is YouTube has changed their search engine. It used to be it would go right down the list on interviews and stuff. They only do like mainstream news nowadays, and that's primarily due to their fear of hate speech for whatever reason. The things that they call the intellectual dark web. I'm hoping that changes, and there are a lot, and I don't see that happening, but I'm hoping that something changes, or that we have we have something similar to YouTube where we can have freedom of speech and freedom of thought, because we're all adults here. I mean, they're allowing a group of individuals to take over 6 city blocks, and this has been helped by the.
I don't here. Hopefully we are. Hope someone can see me. I don't know how well my 5G is working out here, but I'm eating up all my data. But just want to let everyone, I'm going to see if I can switch my camera around here. I am at the area which makes up the Chaz, which is the Capitol Hill autonomous zone for people out there who don't know, who would like to. If you see that big group right down there, that's pretty much the beginning of it. I'm kind of in the middle right here, and I'm in the street. I feel so bad. I feel like a lawbreaker, and I got my sandals on, so I hope no one, I got my flip-flops. I hope no one tear gasses us or anything. I got to get back up on the street. I can't handle all that law breaking. But down there, that group, that's where all the speeches are being given, because that corner right there, that's that police department that's been abandoned, police precinct. They're up there giving speeches and having representatives of police talk, representatives of different groups talk. You could probably, I don't know, like they're kind of drowned out by this end down here, because this end down here has all the music and the artists and everything. But trying to give everybody an idea of what's going on here. It's, nice out here, actually. It's a really nice night. There's doggies everywhere. Oh my God, there's one that looks like turnip. There's puppies everywhere, people on bicycles. People having a good time. A lot of the bars are open up and down along through here. I just showed a picture of one a little bit ago. I think I showed one on Instagram, or at least I took video of it. I don't know if I posted it yet. But it's really not, like I said, big. If you look at it, it just goes from right there up to there, which is not a large area. We have short blocks here in the Northwest. We don't have like full-size city blocks or like half blocks. But the reason they say it takes up a lot of room is because they count this over here as part of it. I'll go over here so you can see it. See, these are the barricades I'm talking about. People are asking,
All
like,
right.
Chris, can you like,
Well, you know, this
hard?
is
I mean, you can just
this is all, you know, just kind of explaining what's going on down there, and it
And this
just
is somewhat of a sanitized. This guy's being somewhat sanitized about
yeah,
it.
he's being kind of generic in his
Not,
approach.
and you know what? You know, look. I mean, there are things that are not as bad as they seem, and there are things that are even worse. You know, but anytime you don't have law and order, you stand the chance of being hurt, and you know, no prosecutions happen. I mean, like no prosecutions happening. And anytime you get a large group of people together, you're going to get, you know, knuckleheads and thugs, and things have gotten worse over the years. And the left champions, you know, the left often champions degenerate criminals, and it basically punishes those who try to keep law and order, and it basically makes the outliers. You know, if you're a police officer and you're an outlier, you're considered everyone. But if you are any part of a leftist organization and you do something wrong, well, that's just an outlier. That's not the whole thing. But anytime a conservative group, and I can only think of the Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer, but anytime a conservative group does something, like one of their outliers does something, and they kick them out, well, that's the whole group. And that's kind of what I noticed. You know, there's a nice little puppy there, you know. And yeah, you know, the group seems kind of peaceful. And no doubt the majority of the protesters are peaceful, but the rioters are using the protesters as cover to do their activities. And after the riots come, after the protesters come, a lot of the rioters come as well. And that's what you're kind of seeing. And, you know, Antifa terrorists took over. So yeah, let's take a look at this.
I saw this yesterday. This is a good one. Let's see if it's buffering.
Who don't matter? This motherfucker. 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 They mind violence, bitch. I'm not.
Most people have been following my stream.
You want me to pull your panties down? I'll pull your fucking panties down, boy.
You said all that's matter, but you cannot twist
Your ass out. Bitch, don't come back. Don't go away, man, bitch. Just go away. Who don't matter? This bitch don't matter.
That's what I want to know.
Get your punk ass out of here. I don't know why you talking to that motherfucker.
Just want everybody to remember. I've been out here for the last 2 weeks. I'm the one that got a lot of that footage that went around the world, like the umbrella and all that. A lot of the frontline stuff with the protests, the tear gas, and everything. So that was.
There you go. And when one group doesn't have any moral are absolved of moral responsibility, that's what you get. And do you want to live under it? When you have unquestioned authority, you're able to absolve yourself of moral responsibility. And let's be honest, that's what they're doing.
It's the bad graffiti. See, oh yeah. See, like they're like iron sickle. I guarantee you that wasn't someone here. That's probably an agitator did that, just to make things look bad. But you can see the crowd here. What do you think of these people yourself? I don't like most of them because I fucking hate people, especially the ones under 45. But you for yourself, look at them. Do these people match up to the stereotypes and the demonization you've been seeing in social media the last couple of days, or do they just look like people? That'll be maybe not the best dressed or hygienic people in some cases, but just people. I can't really read. I'm trying. It's going by too fast. There's too many people talking. They're probably all tourists like you. Nah, I think most of these are local.
Just shut them on. I wanted to make a comment.
Yeah.
The hippie communes didn't last for a reason. Because after a while, you're going to need labor to get things done that you need done. You're going to need society. And most people do not, most people want functional societies. In the third world, there are a lot of dysfunction. This is very dysfunctional. It's seen as very loving. Some of it's, and this isn't even the hippie days. These are radicals and these are violent people. A lot of them with absolute chips on their shoulder, and will not be tolerant to anything you have to say. Like I said, these people have unquestioned authority, and the establishment has given them unquestioned authority. And do you think that's a good thing? I guess a lot of people don't get it, Joe, and I guess the world, this is really the world being absurd. Anything to say before we call it a day, Joe?
No, I think you got it all covered. It is kind of a strange thing. I'm not sure what to make of this. It doesn't feel organic to me. It doesn't seem productive. And, this is all, to me, it's just a bunch of ugly division tactics that ultimately aren't going to solve the problem. They're not going to make people less dependent on government. If they're asking for all of these changes when they should be focused on, this whole 6-block radius in Chaz, it's just, I find it sad. It's not addressing a common enemy. It's not getting anything done but dividing people even more.
And really and truly, I think a lot of times the common enemy is themselves and their own motivation, including myself, dude. I mean, we all have our own demons and our own self to struggle with, but it's easy to point the finger at other people and not to point the finger at others. And you know what? Relationships have to be win-win. They can't be I win, you lose. And if you're not welcome at the table and there's no place for you to talk, is that really, you think there's not going to be any pushback from that? And so there you have it. This is a very authoritarian group, and the establishment is behind them, and they're gaslighting you. They're not telling you the truth because they're not letting the other side speak. And if you speak, you better come at the most proper and prim way, and and all these other rules that apply to you that won't apply to others. The left gets away with things that the right could never get away with. And Joe, that's all I have to say. Hey, like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also share the show if you also like it. But we need to have these conversations open. Hopefully, the other side will come to the table and we can have a bargaining group. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not a mindless robot. And if I'm going to give in to something, I better have some say, and it's got to hit my head and my soul, and it can't hit me in the fears, because I may go along with it if I'm afraid for a while, and human beings may go along with it if they're afraid for a while. But fear is a bad motivator, and fear and hate go hand in hand, and anyone who invokes fear on you, anyone who invokes fear is also going to invoke hate and animosity, and sooner or later the tides could be turning. So, like and subscribe and share the video.